Update. I caught my mom cheating and now my family went no contact because I didn't want to forgive her. Original story. My mom, female 51, cheated on dad, 58. If it was the first time, I don't know. Although I doubt it, but about 9 months ago, my younger sister, female 23, and I caught her in the act in mom and dad's bed when we got the dates mixed and showed up in the wrong weekend to a supposed family gathering. I don't want to go into detail since I don't know how much is relevant here, but the way we found them probably added to my anger and it forgiving of her. She swore it was a one-time thing, yada yada yada, and dad believed her even though this crushed his spirit. And he's not his bubbly self after that and has lost a lot of weight since. Nobody else believed her, but my other siblings, male 33, male 31, female 31, and female 23, and some of the other family members who found out thought if he forgave her, it was good enough for them. And after a few months, everything was supposed to be as usual. I did not, however, forgive her, and I told her that evening she was dead to me, and she was never to be part of me or my baby's, 3 months female, life. I was pregnant at the time and I was supposed to break the news at that gathering. I kept my promise and refused to see or talk to her throughout the pregnancy. And she was raging and calling me selfish, cold-hearted, and an a-hole for depriving her of her first grandchild. Not only her, the rest of the family seemed to think I am at the wrong too, including dad. And they all went no contact with me. I suspect it's to pressure me to talk to her again. But my sister said no, they all just think I'm a big a-hole and don't want anything to do with me. The only ones on my side are my significant other, one cousin, and of course myself. I can't forgive her. Not only for what I witnessed that will haunt me for the rest of my life, but even because of what dad has become. I have never seen him so defeated and depressed. Always on the verge of tears whenever I ask how he was. And the last time we met, a month or so before I gave birth, he cried in the nursery he was helping me prepare for my daughter. I resented my mom even more. The thought of her in my life honestly makes me want to vomit. No one from my family have met my daughter since her birth. No one asked or called or did anything. My significant other, in a desperate attempt, sent a picture of me and my newborn baby to my family chat group and none responded. It feels like this is becoming a battle of me versus mom and she is winning. The problem is I love my family so much. We have always been so close. I wouldn't mind them having a relationship with both me and mom, but they're set on going no contact as long as I'm excluding my mom from my life. I miss them. And most of all, I miss dad who I believe needs me now more than any other time. I am very lost and tired of crying myself to sleep every night, but I can't rid myself of the resentment. What can I do? Edit. Thanks a lot for the support I'm getting both here and on the chat. Although many are saying I am being very dramatic and cheating isn't that bad, and that I'm being silly to feel traumatized. I'm not judging cheaters and I'm sorry for everyone who felt triggered. Of course, many can come back from infidelity and stay in their relationship. I'm just telling my experience. I am not, neither here nor privately going to give the kinky details. It's not about that. I leave that to your imagination and my nightmares. I will, however, tell what transpired afterwards. As I said, little sister and I got the dates mixed and went to mom and dad's home. We heard commotion at mom's voice, and we thought she had fallen or something and hurt herself, so we ran upstairs in fear. But they saw us. It was the usual mom sobbing, telling us, "It's not what you think, it's not what you think," while getting dressed. The dude ran to the bathroom, and my sister is yelling and crying. I asked mom, "Is dad in on it? Does he know?" Because I thought they maybe had an arrangement. The dude then goes out in my dad's bathrobe, smirking, and he sat on a bed and started smoking. My sister is hysterical now and I started yelling, "What's going on? Does daddy know?" I took out my phone to call dad and turned to get out of there. But mom jumped at me and knocked the phone out of my hand and begged me to stop. The dude then went to the door and locked it and stood there blocking it, chuckling. I turned to mom and told her to let us out. She came towards me and slapped me twice around my face, yelling at me to calm down. Sister was screaming, "Leave her alone, she's pregnant, you slut." And she had called dad and started sobbing and begging him to come. The dude heard dad is coming, so he took off the robe and started getting into his clothes in front of us. I took my sister and ran out and sat in the car waiting for dad. And that's what happened. Now for the top advice before reading the update. First of all, congratulations. Secondly, focus on your family, dear. You have a new baby. You don't need this BS in your life right now. You love and respect them, but they don't love you or respect you. That's not healthy for you. If they don't want you, don't make effort. Because you did nothing wrong and you're making effort for nothing. I think they can even try to come back in your life when they realize you gave up on them. Thank you. I'm so sorry that your family's punishing you like this, just when you should be having so much joy sharing your baby with them. Get some counseling, even if it's to come to terms with what you saw that day. You know that wasn't the first time your mom cheated, and she's probably still doing it. But they've all decided to overlook it, and somehow they've transferred their anger at your mother's betrayal onto your reaction. Nice trick. Counseling, now. Edit. While I'm advocating counseling for Opie's for her own peace of mind, and understand she has no part in the family's nuclear backlash, she deserves to drop the upset that's causing her distress and sleepless nights. I never thought of counseling, to be honest. Maybe I should give it a go. This is quite possibly the most mind-boggling post I have ever read on the sub. The fact that you literally did nothing wrong, and yet everyone is treating you like you're the worst person alive is downright infuriating. Honestly, screw the rest of them. They were awful for what they've done to you, but they made their choice to let them stick with it. Even if they somehow realize they messed up, they're no longer worth your time and energy. Much like you, I'm more worried about your father. If you're not blocked, send him a message stating how much you care about him, and how if he wants to be in your child's life, he absolutely can. Then wait for him to respond when he's ready. And now for the update. First of all, thank you guys for still reaching out to me asking how I am, and if I had an update. I'm afraid that things got a lot worse the last couple of weeks, and I'm very sorry if you were waiting for a happier update. I've tried to make this update as short as possible. If you wonder about anything, I will try to answer as best as I can. I mentioned in my original post that one cousin, female 22, took my side, or should I say, she didn't cut me off. She did some investigation and found out that there was this rumor about my little sister not being my dad's biological daughter. My mom told my siblings that I was the one who had spread this rumor to hurt her reputation, and that's what made them go no contact. When I told my significant other this, he was very shocked and told me he's been receiving anonymous texts and emails from a guy claiming that I was unfaithful with him and that our baby isn't my significant other's. My significant other didn't want me to know this before because of how I was, still am, doing. I made a final desperate attempt to contact my siblings and dad, and wrote them a very long email and asked my cousin to send it to them to make sure they got it. The only response I got is my oldest brother's fiancé emailing my significant other that we're uninvited to her and brother's wedding in April. That was a week ago. Yesterday, Dad called my significant other. He told him that I felt obligated to tell him the truth about me, that I have been lying to everybody and that I have made up the whole mom having an affair thing to cover my own unfaithfulness, and he advised my significant other to take a paternity test to make sure our baby is his. I heard everything because significant other had put him on speaker. I'm sorry, my update is lame and rather horrible. I have been crying on and off since yesterday, running to the bathroom being sick whenever I think about Dad's words. I don't know if I regret investigating further and not letting it go. I realize now that I won't be hearing from any of my family anytime soon, and for the first time in over 6 months now, that I think it maybe is for the best. What I don't understand is how her affair is being totally looked over when there was another witness beside you present. I only have one thing to say. Cut all contact with your whole family, and if you can move to another city/town or country, seek help ASAP and take care of yourself and your husband and your baby. This is easy. The mother, who is also obviously cooking up all those rumors, convinced the younger sister that what she'd seen wasn't what happened. The human mind does very weird things when traumatized and in shock. I wouldn't be surprised if the mother turned the whole thing too. It was Opie who cheated in our bedroom with that guy, and the little sister and I found her. And now she's trying to pin that on me to cover up her affair. She most likely is also the one who sent those messages to Opie's significant other. I had a wife like this. Insanity. Pure insanity. Catch her doing something and she would try to convince me it was her that caught me. Thought I was schizophrenic for a bit. My mom spread a rumor that my older brother was hooking up with our cousin when we were all teens. I only realized that she was the source of the rumor when I caught her trying to spread a similar rumor about my son and his cousin 20 years later. Some folks' parents really are monsters. You have a small kid. One day your daughter may face some difficult things in her life, and you'll be an example on how to handle dishonesty. Don't keep liars and cheaters around. It'll only drag you down. Surround yourself with the great people who care about you and nobody else. Be glad the trash took itself out. Who knows what other kinds of BS they try to pull in the future. This doesn't make sense because the sister was there and witnessed it too. So how did you make up the story? Yes, that's what Dad is saying now. I don't know if he believes it himself, or he's just trying to break my husband and me up by making him doubt me. My husband doesn't want anything to do with my family anymore and advised me not to go investigate anymore and just let them go. Your husband is right. Let them go. Let them live in denial. You told them what happened, and how they reacted is on them. They are now trying to break your little family up in retaliation, so cut them off. At least for now. Next story is titled, Update. I threw a low blow at my boyfriend at 20 male during an argument, and I don't know how to fix it. 22 female. Original story. We have a great relationship, and I think I may have ruined it. We have been dating for a year, and we are going fine. My boyfriend has a tendency to forget things. He manages it well, but sometimes I have to remind him of things. He forgot to take the spare key I had given him when he was coming over to my place. I was at my friend's place, and her boyfriend had just broken up with her, and she was a mess. I was just helping her calm down, and it was pretty emotionally stressful. It was a bad relationship, and I had told her that it would be better if she left it. She started to blame me for the breakup, and she lashed out on me. It was very hurtful. He texted me while I was already in a bad mood, and I told him I would be over in half an hour. It took me about 1.5 hours to get back. I could see he was slightly irritated. I'd asked him to bring over something that he had forgotten at his place. He had forgotten it too, and I just snapped. I said that my friends were right and I was dating a freaking idiot. It was a pretty hurtful thing to say because he was pretty hurt. He was very hurt by it, and I apologized immediately, but he was really sad. He is insecure about his intelligence, and I just insulted about something he is insecure about. I have tried to apologize for it, and he says it is fine, but I can see that he is still hurt by it. I reacted like a child and hurt him. He is so sweet that he brought the things over the next morning even though it is a 2-hour drive to work for him from my place. I want to fix this. I don't know how to fix this. Now for the top advice before reading the update. If my friends called my girlfriend an idiot, I would never talk to them again. But I can't even imagine saying that to her myself. If I was him, I would lose a lot of trust with you and feel insecure and anxious every time you go see your friends. If you can't stick up for this man with your friends and even repeat what they say to him, you should let him find someone who appreciates him even with his flaws that aren't his fault. Right? Memory that sticks in my mind to this day 20 years later is when some random guy called my mom a witch for accidentally bumping into him while we were at Disney World when I was 6, and my dad turned right away and knocked him on his butt. Can't imagine ever doing anything less if someone said something awful about a person I love, let alone a friend doing it. What an awful way to treat your man. Damn, girl. You not only insulted him, you confirmed that you and your friends think and talk about him that way. You'll be lucky if he moves on and lets you make it up to him. But if you don't, at the very least, change your awful behavior and quash that type of talk from your friends, you don't deserve the chance. In one fell swoop, he has learned you and your friends have discussed his intelligence behind his back, and that you think he is an idiot. Honestly, it's really hard to come back from that. He will likely never trust any compliments from you and your friends again. You should have an open and honest discussion about what led you to say it, not simply apologize. He might be willing to move forward if he understands the context and is able to accept it was a slip of the tongue. Maybe, I'm no expert. This is easy to fix, and ironically, it involves a spare key. Step 1, give him back any key you have to his place. Step 2, leave the poor guy alone. You are a toxic mess. He deserves better than you. Look how, even in this message, you try to blame him and justify your crappy behavior. You admit to griping about him and your friends. You are a garbage person. Get away and let the guy have a shot at a better life with a better partner. And now for the update. We broke up. I tried to make it work, but it was clear the trust was gone, and he broke up with me. I miss him, but I didn't deserve him. I hurt him really badly. He said he couldn't ever trust me, and he didn't believe it when I said I loved him. The most messed up part of me calling him an idiot is that I didn't believe it for 1 second. I didn't talk bad about him, and every time my friend tried to diss him, I would defend him. I was lying to hurt him, and I feel that is worse than telling the truth. It was a really cruel thing to do. Someone posted a link to a page about verbal mistreatment. At first I thought it was BS because I never seen a relationship where the partners don't yell. I mean, my parents used to throw things at each other, so I thought yelling and cussing them out was healthier than that. I am a mess. I've started therapy and I need to take a lot of time to deal with my harmful tendencies. I'm an okay human 99% of the time, but when I get stressed and really annoyed, I lash out and hurt people I love. I don't want to be that person anymore. I've pulled away from my friend group too. They're just as messed up as I am. It was automatic. My brain just went into overdrive and picked up the meanest, nastiest thing so that I can hurt him. I don't know if I can change that. If I can't change, I wonder what will I do? I don't want to be like mom and dad, but I think I'm just like them. I have a lot of work to do. I just wished that I realized how messed up I am before I hurt the sweetest person in my life. Good job taking accountability for your actions. This is a classic example of how toxic and harmful behaviors are normalized and thus repeated. It's going to take massive work to unpack this and to recalibrate what normal healthy behavior in a relationship is. Keep at it. You can do it. I am scared. I don't know if I can change. I'm going to try really hard, but I don't know what will I do if I can't fix myself. I wish my girlfriend, soon-to-be ex-girlfriend, realized this because she does the same thing. Great when everything is going well, but as soon as she gets stressed, she hurts me with things she says. My ex was like that too. Seems to be common. I just want you to know that the person you are at 22 doesn't have to be the person you will be at 32. You are fully capable of improving your empathy skills, emotional intelligence, and keeping a lid on your temper in therapy. You can learn how to communicate better. You can learn how to identify and express your emotions in a healthy way. And over time, it becomes your new worldview. I know it because I've lived it, right down to the unhealthy temper and poor relationship role models. I wasn't emotionally stable at 22. At 32, my therapist frequently compliments me on my handling of situations and communication skills. You are not your parents, you're you, and you can grow.